The Mind's Mirage. Elara stood at the base of the final ascent, facing the infamous razor's edge. It was just an exposed ridge, but in her mind, it was a knife edge of sheer granite. Flanked by lethal drops, the fear was a physical thing, a cold, heavy lump that stopped her breath and tightened her chest. For long minutes, she was paralyzed. She had dreamed of the summit, but the voice in her head owned wrong step, and that's it, was absolute, finally. Fueled by a stubborn refusal to let 8 hours of effort be wasted, she forced herself to move. She climbed through the fear. The ascent was agonizing. She kept her eyes glued to her boots, refusing to look at the terrifying expanse below. Every movement was a victory of will over instinct, moving forward only because the regret of stopping was a greater fear than the fall. When the incline finally leveled out, she collapsed onto the small, sun-drenched summit, gasping. After the rush of adrenaline subsided, Elara slowly forced herself to her knees, turned, and looked back at the razor's edge. The actual ridge was perhaps 5 feet wide, a solid, well-worn path. It was exposed, certainly, but miles away from the treacherous sliver her mind had conjured. A sharp, disbelieving laugh escaped her. The paralyzing terror that had dominated her entire climb had been completely unnecessary. The mountain wasn't the obstacle. The story she had told herself about the mountain was. The fear was exposed as an illusion, a trick of the mind playing to limit and blind her to her own capability. She had spent the climb fighting an enemy that did not exist in the physical world. The true summit was the space in her mind where the self-doubt had finally dissolved. So, that was Elara's story on the razor's edge, a path she was terrified of, convinced it was a single slip of stone, only to find out at the summit it was actually a wide, stable 3-meter causeway. The immense fear, the paralysis, the struggle to push through all of it was fueled by an illusion. The true obstacle wasn't the mountain, but the catastrophic replica her own mind had built. Elara's realization is this: most of the things that stop us aren't physical barriers. They are mind's mirages, stories we tell ourselves about how narrow, how dangerous, or how impossible the path is. These tricks limit us and blind us to our own capability. We all have a razor's edge in our lives. It could be a scary first step in a business, writing the first page of a novel, hitting post on a vulnerable video, or starting a difficult conversation. Now, I want to hear from you. After hearing Elara's story, I want to know, what is the mind's mirage you're currently facing? What challenge looks like a deadly, narrow edge in your head, but is probably a 3-meter wide path in reality?